Me Against the World hit #1 on the Billboard 200, making Tupac the first artist to accomplish this feat while serving a prison sentence. Before he starred and filmed Juice, Above the Rim, and Poetic Justice, where he was shot 5 times in the lobby of a recording studio during a mugging, and this was the shooting that he survived. Before he dated Madonna. Now, although everyone relates Tupac to West Coast rap, the man was actually born in East Harlem. His family, they were heavily involved in the Black Panther movement, some of them incarcerated. Now, Tupac, he found his own calling, his own passion in art and performance, and the man took the stage at the Apollo Theater as an actor at the age of 13. He also took the stage in a later performance of the Nutcracker, and he studied ballet at Baltimore School of the Arts. Rapping while in Baltimore, then he moved back to New York City and adopted the name MC New York. He also danced as a backup dancer for Digital Underground. Now, after Tupac became a worldwide success, selling over 75 million albums under the name Tupac, well, he almost got back into acting. He auditioned for the role of Bubba in Forrest Gump, he didn't get that one, but he also auditioned to play Mace Windu in the Star Wars prequels, but sadly he wouldn't fulfill that duty because he passed away suddenly on September 13th, 1996 at only the age of 25. My name is Michael McCrudden, and welcome to Before They Were Dead, documenting the life of Tupac Shakur prior to his passing, here for you on Before They Were Dead. Now, as always, guys, let me know in the comments down below who you want to hear about next, both in Before They Were Famous, After They Were Famous, and as well as Before They Were Dead. Also, share your condolences and your respects for Tupac in the comments down below. Parish crooks on June 16, 1971 in East Harlem, Manhattan, New York City, New York. The son of Black Panther activist, Shakur was raised by his mother, Afeni Shakur. She was actually in jail on bombing charges during her pregnancy, and he was born 1 month and 3 days after she'd been acquitted of all charges, including conspiracy against the United States government and New York City landmarks. Now, he had no contact with his biological father, Billy Garland, well, until he was an adult. Billy, as well as other immediate family members, were also heavily involved in the Black Liberation Army. Tupac has a half-sister, her name is Sekiwa, she is 2 years younger. He also has a step-brother, his name is Komani Shakur, and the two of them, they would work together closely. Now, his birth name of Lassane Parish Crooks, his mother would abandon that early on and take to calling her son Tupac Shakur. Now, this was after the South American revolutionary Tupac Amaru, who led the indigenous revolt against Spanish rule. This revolutionary would eventually be executed by his oppressors. The name Tupac Amaru, well, that means shining serpent. As for Shakur, well, that means thankful to God in Arabic. Now, Tupac had a difficult childhood, moving frequently around the New York City boroughs from Brooklyn to the Bronx. Now, he got an education early on from his mother in radical politics, but he also witnessed some of the hardships of life. His mother, she was struggling with crack addiction. In his youth, he explored acting and became a member of the 127th Street Ensemble, a Harlem-based theater company. It was with them he would take the stage in Raisin in the Sun at the Apollo Theater when he was only 13. As a teenager, his family relocated to Maryland. It was then he would be enrolled at Baltimore School of the Arts, and he would take dance classes as well as acting classes, and the man excelled at ballet. While in high school, he was considered to be the most popular guy in school. Why? Well, the guy had an amazing sense of humor, apparently, and he was also a fantastic rapper. Where did I get this information from? Well, it was revealed from his closest friend at the time. We now know her as Jada Pinkett Smith. Tupac and his family, they would relocate once again, this time leaving Baltimore, going back to the Big Apple, and this time he decided he was going to focus on his rap full-time, but he needed a rap name, so he chose MC New York. But he wouldn't stay there long. His family quickly relocated to the West Coast, and as he arrived, well, people took notice of the then 17-year-old's abundance of talent. He was quickly signed on to join the Oakland, California-based hip-hop group known as Digital Underground. At the time, they were making headway with their track, The Humpty Dance. It appeared on 2 of the group's recordings in the 1990s. This is an EP and Son of the P. But not everything was sunny in good old California. In October of 1991, Tupac filed a $10 million civil suit against the Oakland Police Department. Why? Well, he was brutally beaten up for jaywalking. Now he was pent up with rage, and he decided to make a go at it as a solo rapper. This is the time he adopted the name Tupac. He released his debut album, Tupacalypse Now. It did okay. There was a track on there, Brenda's Got a Baby, and that reached #3 on the Billboard 100 Hot Rap Singles. But it was his second album, Strictly For My Niggaz. You guys know I ain't playing, I ain't gonna say that word. Not my word to say. That crossed over to the pop charts with singles I Get Around and Keep Your Head Up. Now, for you guys who are asking, why didn't you just say the word, the title of the album? Well, let's take a look at what this interview girl did. I don't think that was a good idea. Tupac's career taking off, he decided to focus again on his other passion, which was acting. He starred in the 1992 urban crime drama Juice with Omar Epps, Samuel L. Jackson, and Queen Latifah. Then he played the love interest to Janet Jackson in the street romance flick Poetic Justice. This was filmed in 1993. Now for this film, there was a love scene between Tupac and Janet Jackson, and the people on the movie, well, they kept asking him to get an HIV test just to kind of make love to her, and he's like, we're not actually gonna do it, I don't see the point. But they really wanted it, and the whole thing was really awkward. Now he was set to play a lead role in the film Menace to Society, but then he got into a scuffle with co-director Alan Hughes, and this resulted in Tupac going to jail for almost a week. In 1994, he played a drug dealer in the basketball drama Above the Rim, auditioned for the role of Bubba in Forrest Gump, but sadly he didn't get this part. Tupac fell on the other side of violence when he got shot 5 times during a recording studio mugging, and after this incident, well, he was certain the fellows over at Bad Boy, well, they were behind it. Now you think this would create some sympathy for Tupac, but in mainstream media, his name was associated with negative news and headlines. For example, there was a youth out in Texas who shot a state trooper. When asked why did he do it, well, he said he was influenced by Tupacalypse Now. Oh, Eminem and Marilyn Manson, they know all about that. With all this going on and Tupac recovering from his injuries, well, he had to go to trial because he had 18 charges laid against him, and he was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison on sexual assault charges. Niccolo Machiavelli. While in prison, the dude also got married, but this was a relationship that wouldn't last long. He dropped Me Against the World in 1995 while in prison, then in 1996 he released All Eyes on Me. Now Suge Knight, he had dropped $1.4 million to get Tupac out of prison, so now he was working with the likes of Dr. Dre and Death Row Records, and we got the best track ever. This album had sold 5 million copies. But around this time, the feud between East Coast and West Coast was reaching a tipping point. Tupac, along with the Outlaw Immortals, released the diss track Hit 'Em Up, with a lyrical assault on Biggie and Bad Boy. Now in the track, Tupac had claimed to have had sexual relations with Faith Evans, who was Biggie's wife at the time. Yeah. Around this time, Tupac also recorded Machiavelli, The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory. Now this was meant to be an underground record, but since it was released following his passing, well, the thing became a massive hit. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac, along with Suge Knight, they decided to go to Las Vegas to catch their buddy Mike Tyson in a big old fight. Let's take a look at the final footage captured of Tupac. But the man's legacy and artistry, it still lives on today through his music. And some people still believe he's alive and well. But I don't think so. In this one of Before They Were Dead, please leave your respects in the comments down below. Also let me know who you want to see next. Also on Before They Were Famous and After They Were Famous. Pumping out all sorts of videos for you guys. There's been a whole lot done already, so be sure to browse the channel, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. I think that's everything.